My name is Jenny Crumrine. I'm a student in funeral service education at Northampton Community College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I will graduate in August 2011. First, I'd like to talk about what I believe is the most important issue and challenge facing the funeral service profession today, namely that the public is increasingly skeptical of the funeral director and of the value of funeral services in their lives. Today, the average American participates in fewer funerals than compared to any other time in U.S. history. This is largely a consequence of an almost continual decrease in the size of American families, especially during the 19th and 20th centuries. Smaller families and better health care mean that today Americans, on average, are intimately involved in the planning of just 3 funerals in their lifetime. Therefore, what the average American knows about funerals and funeral home service is based very little on first-hand interaction with funeral directors. Rather, it's often heavily influenced by the media, for example, television dramas or perhaps high-profile legal cases where unscrupulous funeral directors are brought to justice. Small wonder, then, that the average client family is skeptical of funeral directors and likewise uncertain about how they feel about the value of funeral rites for their loved ones or for themselves. I feel the biggest challenge for funeral directors today is to re-earn the trust of the public. Now, I will talk about how I would explain my role as a funeral director and the value of the funeral services I can provide to a family who is considering having no services for the deceased. We mark important occasions in our life by setting aside time to prepare for the event, to plan the event, then time to experience the event, and at the same time to provide a place to share with others we care about. When we do this, it nurtures and sustains us as we experience change in our life. When the occasion is happy, like an anniversary or a wedding, it's a joy to gather with those who can help us put the machinery in place to make the event exactly as we envision it in our daydreams. But when someone we care for deeply passes on, it can be difficult to see that we can continue to care for our loved one by marking the significance of their passing with a funeral service. As a funeral director, I can help you develop a vision of what kind of service will reflect the unique characteristics of your loved one, and then to bring the plans together and create the time and place for your loved one's community of family and friends to reflect and to share. A funeral is like no other event in our lives. When thoughtfully undertaken, it can be among the most meaningful. Now I'll talk about in what areas I would like to develop further and my plans to do that. In my personal reading, I'm coming to understand the home funeral movement. A home funeral is one where the survivors undertake the funeral on their own to the extent allowed by law, which in many states is the entire funeral. The people who choose a home funeral are in many cases the most skeptical of funeral directors, or those who do not believe that funeral directors are the best agents to enable them to create a meaningful funeral. By understanding the point of view of those who choose home funerals, I believe, as a funeral director, I will be able to better serve all the families with whom I interact. To this end, in addition to my reading, I'm involved with those people in my local area who assist families at the time of need. I believe establishing this link is mutually beneficial. For me, I gain an appreciation and an in-depth understanding of the unmet need of the home funeral family, the need that funeral directors currently do not provide. And for those in my area undertaking home funerals, they can utilize me as a trusted resource to call on in the event that they need consultation, for example, on legal aspects. After I am licensed, I can be of further help. In my area, most families undertaking home funerals do employ the assistance of a funeral director for some aspects of their home funeral. In conclusion, the area in which I am developing further is to better understand the diverse client families that I will serve in my funeral service career. Thank you.